Who do I gotta pay to get a product made around here is the exact question that I had when my prototype drawings were finished. This video is about what I learned when trying to decide what country I should be manufacturing my product in. Stick to the end where I talk about the formula that I created that can help you determine your manufacturing location. Deciding on what country to manufacture your product is a big decision, and it will have a chain reaction to the following steps throughout your business journey. Now, the United States versus overseas manufacturing. I'm from the United States, but these factors can apply to your home country as well if you are not from the United States. The following pros and cons that I'm going to list are based off extensive research that I have done to really nail down where I want to manufacture my product. Here are the pros of manufacturing your product in the United States. Faster turnaround times. Lead time on product manufacturing is a big hurdle to get over when starting a new business. You have no idea how many units you're going to sell on launch and how many units you need to have in stock. Selling out of units on launch and then having the next wave of customers have to wait 8 to 12 weeks to get that new shipment might kill your new business momentum. So when time is tight, manufacturing in the US will help immensely. Protecting your invention. The United States has very strict laws regarding intellectual property and will help reduce the chances of counterfeit products being made. Also, it's much easier to take someone to court or file a cease and desist if they are also based inside the US. Quality. The United States has a high standard for producing quality products. State and federal regulations are put in place ensuring that manufacturing companies have a safe, clean, and healthy work environment. Lastly, for the pros, they are based in the United States. So you know they speak English, and they're just a short flight away if you ever need to visit the factory. This channel is to document my experience as an inventor and entrepreneur and share the things that I've learned along the way. I'm not a coach, all my content is free. Hopefully this provides some value to you, and maybe you can provide some value to me in the comments down below if you know something that I don't. So subscribe if this kind of content interests you. The only real con to manufacturing in the United States is that your product is more than likely going to cost more than the overseas competition. This is simply because labor rates are higher in the United States. There could be limited access to resources. If your manufacturer has to import materials from another country, this could increase lead time as well as increasing cost of shipping and getting the material into the United States. Those state and federal regulations that I mentioned earlier do increase cost of your product being made because these manufacturing companies have a certain standard to adhere to. Here's a quick tip for you and also something to consider. For your product to be made in USA, the Federal Trade Commission requires that more than 50% of the parts of your product be manufactured in the United States, which was honestly surprising to me. I didn't know that. All right, God bless America. Now on to manufacturing overseas. The pros for manufacturing your product overseas. Lower labor costs and more lenient regulations. This will absolutely save your company money in the long run. Just remember that old saying, you get what you pay for, most of the time. Vast supply chains. Countries like China have access to a wide range of suppliers and materials, reducing the need to outsource for other materials and components. Now the cons for manufacturing overseas. You're going to have longer lead times. You're going to have to work with a freighting company to get your product on a marine carrier from overseas into the United States. This could take weeks, if not months. You can reduce this lead time by freighting via air, but it's going to cost you. Quality control challenges. Ensuring consistent quality of your product could be a challenge if the manufacturer that you end up choosing produces inconsistent work. This is definitely something to keep in mind if your product requires tight tolerances. Intellectual property risk. The chances of your product being counterfeit goes way up, and it is much harder to fight in court when the company stealing your product is overseas. Unless you have a global patent or a patent in your manufacturer's country, this is definitely something you should be aware of. Regardless, always have your manufacturer sign an NDA and pray that you don't get screwed. Taxes and tariffs. Keep in mind that when you're importing goods into the United States, that your product is subject to taxes and tariffs. This will definitely up the cost of your overall product. Language barrier. English usually isn't their first language, so make sure that you have some damn good drawings. In my experience, for the representatives that I've talked to, they always speak well enough English, but that's not to say for the people that are actually putting your product together. Now, to put all of this into a simple equation for you. These are the costs associated with getting your product from your manufacturer to your 3PL, your warehouse, your house, whatever. The equation for the United States looks like this. It's going to be a raw product cost, how much it costs for you to get your product made by the manufacturer, plus domestic shipping rates. And these two together equal your landed cost. And for the overseas equation, let's use China as an example. The China equation looks like this. Your raw product cost plus shipping within China from manufacturer to port, plus freight shipping across the ocean, plus any import-export taxes and tariffs, plus shipping within the United States from port to your location. All this in total equals your landed cost for China. While these formulas are important, they only consider the monetary impact on your business. Don't forget that the USA has the advantage on lead time as well. So if prices are comparable, always bet on the red, white, and blue. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you learned something, and subscribe if you want to be the first in the world to find out what my invention actually is. Take care and stay innovative.